There is a question that intrigues and interests many people who are involved in the Chabad culture in Lubavitch today, because we face a real serious crisis of reconciliation and balance. Everybody knows the old Chabad tradition. It talked about bittul and humility, and it's not about me. And of course, in the modern world, we have become so incredibly sensitive to the effects on self-esteem and a person being psychologically healthy and having a positive sense of self and so forth and so on. And to many, many people, these two things seem to be contradictory. Now, first of all, to be sure, I believe that the discrepancy between the Hasidic idea of bittul and the modern concept of self-esteem is rooted in an abuse of Hasidus. In other words, if you go back to the time when Chabad Hasidus in the old country was healthy, before all the tzaddis, you would not have found this idea that being a chassid is, breaking yourself and shattering your fellow. Just tonight, one of my students mentioned to me how a chassid was fabringing with Bachrim and talking to him about bittul, and an elderly chassid from Lubavitch interrupted and said to him that in Lubavitch they didn't put people down. They certainly didn't put young people down. They actually built them up. Bittul is a madrega. Bittul is a high level. And as the expression is, first you have to be a Matthias, first you have to be a somebody, and then you can choose for yourself a path of bittul and humility in order to be a deeper and more meaningful chassid. So I honestly believe that in truth, the reason we have a discrepancy between the Hasidic idea of bittul and the modern idea of self-esteem is because one or both are distorted, are unhealthy, and not correct. And proper bittul and proper self-esteem are not only not incompatible, but they're actually literally a hand and a glove. Having said that, we have a maimer tonight, which is actually a mystical commentary on this question, the balance between self-esteem and bittul. And what's so outstanding and extraordinary about this maimer is that the Rebbe doesn't only explain it psychologically, he also explains it mystically and spiritually. In other words, we're going to talk about the idea that there is a place for bittul, but there is also a place for metzias, for form, for self-identity, and even the idea of yeshus, recognizing oneself and one's accomplishments and one's achievements. Both of them have a real place in Yiddishkeit. There are two steps. One happens before and one happens after. This maimer is going to argue very convincingly for the need for healthy self-esteem, for the need for a person having a very strong sense of self and self-identity, and how bittul is a higher dimension, is a deeper dimension, is a subsequent dimension, and is going to argue practically, in other words, psychologically and mystically, that if you skip the initial step of strengthening self-esteem and giving a human being a sense of a healthy ego and self-identity, not only are you depriving yourself of what is psychologically healthy, you're actually depriving yourself of what is spiritually necessary. In other words, this maimer is almost advocating that level 1 in Avodas Hashem should be egocentric, and only level 2 should involve a higher avodah and a level of bittul, and so forth and so on.